All right, a few more slides here, just about two more. We've got some miscellaneous items. So there's no guarantee of complete accuracy, just like in audit, you provide reasonable assurance. Here, a CPA does not guarantee that their services will be entirely accurate. Instead, they ensure that their work is performed competently and professionally with due diligence. What about any broad liability for fraud? Well, a CPA's liability concerning fraud is extensive as it applies to all persons who rely on fraudulent financial statements or tax returns prepared by the CPA. So if there's actual fraud there, as we said, if there's negligence, you may not be liable to other people. But if there's fraud, yeah, you're going to be liable to everyone. Everyone's going to be able to come after you. Duty of care extending beyond clients. In most states, as we said, a CPA's duty of care not only applies to their clients, but also to any person whom the CPA knows will rely on their work. Big distinction. Meeting the duty of care, a CPA who exercises the level of care that a reasonably competent CPA, so just whatever a normal, non-negligent CPA would do, would, under similar circumstances, has fulfilled their duty of care and would not be considered negligent. And lastly, restrictions on taking client files or work papers. When an accountant leaves a CPA firm, they are not allowed to take original or copied client files or work papers for any reason. This is going to be to protect client confidentiality and maintain professional boundaries. Yeah, when you leave, you can't take it. Oh, well, it'll be great for me to review in my next job. But nope, that is against the rules. It's against the law. It's against all of it. All right, last here is a nice little example. Well, we have a tax consultant. They're going to recommend a business to claim a certain deduction on its tax return. The consultant estimates that there's a 70% chance that the deduction would be accepted if scrutinized by the tax authority. If the deduction is not accepted, a negligence penalty and an interest charge would apply. So the tax consultant here is going to be responsible for disclosing both the negligence penalty and the interest charge to the business. This deduction passes, and this is something we see in other lessons. We didn't really go over it here, but just an example, tying it all in. The reasonableness test, is it more likely than not to pass? This deduction passes the reasonable probability standard because it's 70%, which is greater than 50. Given the facts, the deduction meets the more likely than not standard, that is, a greater than 50% likelihood that the deduction, if it is challenged by the IRS, will be upheld based on the deduction's merits. Therefore, it is proper for the tax consultant to recommend the deduction to the client. Now, who determines this in reality? It's not up to us to determine the percentage. It'll give it to us in the question. But for in real life, it's very difficult to determine that. I mean, you could try your best. But yeah, it's going to be the CPA firm, the tax accountant. They're going to come up with a percentage. However, the tax accountant is still required to inform the client of all possible penalties that the tax authority could impose if the tax authority disallows the deduction, the IRS, and if upon subsequent appeal by the taxpayer, the courts conclude that the taxpayer has not met the more likely than not standard. So it's your job as a tax consultant, as a tax preparer, if you give them any advice, well, you can give anyone advice, but you have to disclose, okay, well, yeah, this might be a little risky, and if we get caught, you may have to pay these penalties. That's just kind of how it goes. So make sure that you're fully disclosing everything, and if you do, you're good to go. That's about it. Let's wrap up with a nice little summary. Hey there! Are you ready to not only pass your CPA exams, but truly understand and enjoy the material while studying? I know it seems impossible, right? Especially to enjoy the material? We'll do it together. Tap into the power of CPA.examprep.ai, where we've got personalized quizzes, multiple choice questions, memorization guides, flashcards, simulations, all tailored to your learning. Our adaptive study planning puts you on the fastest path to success and lifts you back up if you fall behind. Avoid wasting your precious time and money attempting an exam with a low chance of passing, because who wants that? We want to get you through this process as quick as possible. Our exam readiness prediction lets you walk in with confidence, knowing that you're prepared for success on exam day. Thankfully, there's no payment method needed to get started, so why don't you come join us? Visit cpa.examprep.ai and let's achieve your exam success together.